guys, we're going to keep going through the timeline of life today. And today we're going to finish up the Paleozoic era by talking about the Permian period. The Permian period lasted from 300 million years ago to 250 million years ago. So a pretty short period. Well, let's talk about it. So in this period, amphibians, which of course developed at the end of the Devonian period and into the Carboniferous period, amphibians continued to evolve. And one that I thought was really cool is the Diplocaulus. This guy here. He has a head shaped like a boomerang. And honestly, we don't really know why. It could be to make him harder to eat, or it might be that helped it swim better. We really don't know. But I thought he was kind of cool. But what this period is really known for is reptiles. Reptiles developed and flourished in the Permian period. They evolved at the end of the Carboniferous period, but they really evolved in the Permian period. The climate in the Permian period was varied with a lot of volcanic activity, and the body moisture of the reptile was more constant. It didn't need to be in the water as often as amphibians did. Because reptiles had a thicker skin, they could retain more moisture in their bodies. And this is really important, the reptiles' eggs were called amniotic eggs. They had a built-in moisture level which kept the embryo alive until it hatched. So if you remember, amphibians had to lay their eggs in water because the water kept the eggs alive. Reptiles put the water inside the eggs, and then the eggshell was thick enough that it kept the moisture in and kept it from drying out. So here's the amniotic egg. And it again appeared kind of when the same time reptiles did at the end of the Carboniferous period, but that really allowed reptiles to flourish in the Permian period. This meant that the animals could gain some freedom from water, although of course water is always important and essential for living things. One of the first big herbivores, and in fact one of the first herbivorous reptiles was the Edaphosaurus, which was a pelycosaur. Look like this guy. Super interesting because they had these sails on their back. We don't really know why they had these sails. It might be to let them lose or gain body heat quickly, because we know reptiles today even can't regulate their own body heat. So this may have helped with that. The Edaphosaurus in particular, some of these pelycosaurs were carnivorous, but the Edaphosaur is one of the first kinds of reptiles to have different kinds of teeth. Some for cutting and some for grinding food, because it was an herbivore. Also at this time, this is super cool, beetles evolved. Beetles are now the most diverse animals on the planet. And that is because beetles have a complete metamorphosis. Their life cycles have eggs, larvae, pupa, and adults. That amount of metamorphosis allowed them to develop into a very, very diverse life form. So put them down here. And then the last thing I want to talk about is the Plantae kingdom. In the plant kingdom, cycads appeared. Now cycads we can still see today, but actually they reached their height in the Mesozoic era. But they first evolved here in the Permian. So lots of cool developments in the Permian period, even though it was really only 50 million years. Okay.